In this module, we have to talk about responsible generative AI. Now, as we already know, we have principles of responsible AI, and we already know those principles which we should not break while developing AI applications. Same way, while generating content using AI, you have to take care of a couple of principles and standards in your mind. That's what responsible generative AI is all about. In this case, there are 4 stages which you have to understand first. Now, when you're planning for responsible generative AI, the first stage is actually identify. So identify a potential harms that are relevant to your planned solution. There are chances that when you are developing a generative AI solution, it can be harmful for certain users. You have to identify this kind of things first. Then you have to measure the presence of these harms in the output which are generated by your solutions. And if any kind of outputs you identify inside that, you have to mitigate the harm at multiple layers in your solution to minimize their presence and impact. And you have to ensure that you have a transparent communication about potential risk to the users. So while launching that app, while providing that app to the end users, you have to make sure that you are going to mention certain details associations with that. And finally, the 4th stage of this is operate. You have to operate the solution responsibly by defining and following a deployment and operational readiness plan associated with that. The stages are going to be correspond closely to the functions as the risk management framework associated with generative AI, which is standardized guidelines followed by most of the organizations. The remainder of this learning objective discuss each of the stages in detail actually. So you have to provide suggestions for your actions you can take to implement a successful and responsible generative AI solutions. And this is something which is very important to read and understand from certification exam point of view also for AI 900. Last but not the least, we have a demo association for content filter. I strongly recommend you to go through this link and try to understand how the content filter works with Azure OpenAI. And this is the time we have to do the knowledge check of this module. I request you to pause your video right now. Just try to guess the right answer of these 3 questions, and after a few seconds you can resume it to check whether you have guessed it correctly or not. So these are the correct answers. I hope you guessed it correctly. But if you are really serious about AI and Azure Cloud, I strongly recommend you to go for certification. For the certification exam, for the lab configuration, for any other details, if you feel like you have issues and you need a help or you need a guidance, thank you.